Good morning all. Today I, Shruti, on behalf of Study Ka Enzyme, welcome you all here in the next series of the chapter Control After Control in Coordination. The next chapter that lies here is Heredity and Evolution from Class 10 Science Biology. So let's start. Did you know that you share 50% of your DNA with a banana and 99% with a chimpanzee? But still, you all are 100% unique. We all are 100% unique. And if you're struggling with heredity and evolution, so I will make the next half an hour so interesting for you and make this chapter very, very, very easy for you all. So let's begin. Let's begin the chapter. What is heredity and evolution? What is heredity? Heredity means the transmission of traits from one generation to the other generation. When these traits are being passed on, like you might have your nose similar to your mother, you might have your eye color similar to your father. So these are certain traits which we call characteristics. When these characteristics get passed on from one generation to the other, then we call this to be heredity. And the branch of science which deals with this will be called genetics. All right. So this is known to us. So this is genetics. And now variations. Another very important thing is variations. Variations means the difference. The difference that lie in the structure of the appearance or any structural difference. So the two individuals that look different is all because of the variations. And there are two important causes as per the NCERT. This question often comes in examination. There are two causes for variation. Number one, sexual reproduction, and the other one is mutations or DNA copying errors. So these are the two pointers that I was telling you, sexual reproduction and DNA copying errors. Now coming up, the image that you see here, the image is of father of genetics called Gregor John Mendel. He worked on pea, the normal pea that you have at your places that you eat, mutter. So he began with that. He was a monk and he started his statistics and genetics journey here only. So what did he find? He found that some peas, they had contrasting traits. So he studied them for studying the genetics. So these are 7 contrasting traits. So this question often comes in examination, that why did he only choose pea plant? So number one, it's true breeding. True breeding means the pea plant will either be dominant or recessive. It will either show round seeds or wrinkled, but there's no intermediate. It will either be having green pods or yellow pods, no intermediate color. So it has two contrasting traits. Alright, and now because of these 7 contrasting traits and short lifespan, he was able to study different generations of this plant. Therefore, he used pea plant. And he, because of this work that he done, he has made certain laws. These are 3 laws of, he worked on 3 laws, and these laws will be called laws of inheritance, where number 1 is law of dominance, number 2 law of segregation, and third law of independent assortment. Law of independent assortment, as you can see. So before we begin with everything else, let me just tell you one thing. Have you ever observed some traits are like earlobes? जैसे आपने आमिर खान के ears देखे होंगे, they are like free ears. Some ears are fused. Some might have a forehead plain, and some might have a triangle like these. And another interesting feature, if you open your hand and then clench your fingers, then some of you would find that you are placing your right thumb over the left. Some might place their left thumb over the right. That's also a trait. And let me tell you, 70% of people at least put their right thumb over their left thumb. So these are certain traits. Some can roll their tongue, right? Some can turn their tongue like this. So that's also a trait. और ये trait कहाँ से आते हैं? Traits are because of the genes. तो पहले जीन समझ लेते हैं क्या है. That's very interesting thing and most of you are usually confused with that also. जैसे एक टी-शर्ट है. This t-shirt is made of fabric which is cotton. अभी कॉटन फैब्रिक से टी शर्ट बन गई है, ठीक है. इस कॉटन फैब्रिक से टी शर्ट की जगह शर्ट भी बन सकती थी, राइट. सो सेम हियर वी हैव टी शर्ट लाइक DNA which can be used to make chromosomes. So chromosome is like a t-shirt which is which is like a product and which is made up of DNA, like the t-shirt is made up of fabric, and there are certain regions on those genes, on those chromosomes, which code for one trait. For example, if you see and if I make a chromosome here, if this region of the chromosome codes for height, so that's a gene. If this region of the chromosome codes for the eye color, so that's again a gene. Alright, so we will be exploring such things. Now, these genes can be of dominant characteristic or recessive. A gene which is able to express itself will be called as a dominant gene. For example, एक plant tall है और एक dwarf है. If tall gene is able to mask itself over the dwarf gene, then it will be called a dominant trait. And we see in case of a pea plant कि मटर के दाने usually they are mature matters, they are yellow in color. So when they are yellow in color, that's a dominant trait. When they are green in color, that's a recessive trait. And if we look at the pod, जो मटर का छिलका होता है, that you people would usually have seen. ऐसे अगर मटर का छिलका होता है, ठीक है, the pea pod, this is usually green in color. So green color will be dominant. Okay, and yellow. Sometimes you always also find them being yellow. So yellow is a recessive trait. Okay, so two type of traits are there. अगर एक gene पूरा complete protein बना लेती है, so that's a dominant gene. If it's not able to show that, it's a recessive gene. Okay, another example. You might have observed in case of a family, a parent might have brown eye color, a father might have a brown eye color, and a mother might have a black eye color. But out of these two, uh, brown is expressed, for example. So brown will be dominant over the black one. If a child has brown eye color, so that means that's dominant over the black color. Okay? So for doing that, first we do monohybrid cross. अब ये monohybrid cross हम करते कैसे हैं? For doing this monohybrid cross, let me show that to you. So we take some traits. For example, for tall genes of pea plant, I use the color notations capital G. And for dwarf color, dwarf characteristic, I use the color or the notation small t. Suppose there is a plant capital D और उसकी मल्टीप्लाई कराएं हम, क्रॉस कराएं small t. So what do we see? First there is segregation of genes, segregation of gametes. तो ये genes दोनों separate हो जाएंगे, and then here also these two will separate. So now we can form a square where we separate these two traits. इन दोनों को हम यहाँ लिख देंगे, ठीक है? So we write capital T here, and these two here. So we write small t and small t. Thus we get capital T, capital T and small t. Here also capital T, capital T, capital T and small t. So what do you see here? All these have the same characteristics, same gene combination, which is capital T and small t. So capital T will code, अब आपको पता है capital T is for tall and small t is for dwarf, and out of these capital T is dominant. So in appearance this plant will appear tall, and this will be the phenotype. This will be the phenotype. Okay, तो मैं अभी आपको दो बातें पहले समझाती हूँ. Number one that I want to explain you here is, एक है dominant allele, dominant, और एक recessive. Okay, ये अभी आप समझ चुके हो कि one trait which is one gene which is able to express itself will be dominant, and the other one which is not able to express itself will be a recessive trait. Okay, another thing that I want to tell you is gene and allele. This term often comes in examination, your answer sheets, your books, your questions. So let's understand this. Gene होता है किसी भी trait का. For example, eye color. Eye color is a gene and it has two forms. So alleles are alternate forms of a gene. तो allele दो हो सकते हैं, brown eye color या black eye color. So these two are alleles. Okay, giving you more example. For example, hair color. Hair color black या blonde. So these two are again alleles. ऐसे अगर मैं height की बात करूं, height is a gene. It might have two traits which can be tall or dwarf. So these two are known as again alleles. So I hope you're understanding this कि gene और allele में क्या difference है. Then we have another thing that I want to tell you is genotype and phenotype. I will also give you a trick at the end to learn this. Genotype होता है gene combination. What are the genes present or the alleles present in a chromosome? और phenotype होता है physical appearance. So physical appearance of an individual will come in the category of phenotype. For example, अभी आपने देखा capital T and small t. So this capital T and small t, they will make up genotype. So this will be the genotype. And how will this plant look like? It will be dwarf or tall. Please tell. Yes. So it will be tall. Why? Because capital T is dominant. So this will look tall in appearance. So this is the phenotype. I hope you're understanding this. Next we have another thing that I want to tell you. Where are actually these genes and chromosomes located? You know, we all are diploid. So we have two type of cells, two type of nuclei. Okay, so it is, let me make it again. So if a nuclei has same type of genes, okay, same type of chromosomes in doubles. जैसे chromosome number 1 है, if it is present in double amount, okay, then you have another type of chromosome like this. If it is present in double amount, then you have another chromosome. For example, green. So if this is also present in double the amount, so such cell is called a dihybrid. You can also see one of my initial videos on dihybrid and monohybrid cross. So if a cell is like this and it has only one type of chromosome, so it will be a haploid cell. So all the sex cells, gametes, egg and sperm, so they will be haploid in nature. And all the cells of our body, all the other cells of our body will be diploid because we have one chromosome from the mother and one chromosome from the father. तो हमारे पास ये जो एक क्रोमोसोम मदर से आया था और एक क्रोमोसोम फादर से आया था, फॉर एग्जाम्पल this one was from mother, chromosome number 1, this one was from father, okay. So this chromosome number 1 pair will be called as homologous pair of chromosome, okay. So that's homologous pair of chromosome, okay. So we've understood certain things: homologous pair of chromosomes, recessive and dominant allele. We've also understood genotype and phenotype. ओके, नाउ मूविंग अहेड. अब एक और चीज समझा देती हूँ मैं आपको. एक है होमोजाइगस एंड हेटेरोजाइगस कंडीशन. ओके, सो व्हाट इज दैट? वन इज homozygous condition and the other one is heterozygous. So homozygous is when on both the chromosomes, if I consider this chromosome, so it has both these chromosomes with same allele. अगर कोई एक इंडिविजुअल है जिसके पास homologous pair है, one from mother and one from father, and both these have the same gene. मदर से भी ब्लू आई कलर की जीन है, फादर से भी ब्लू आई कलर की जीन है. सो सच विल बी कॉल्ड एज स्मॉल बी. सो दिस विल बी अ होमोजाइगस कंडीशन. अगर दोनों से ब्राउन आई कलर की जीन होगी तो क्या हो जाएगा? सो इट विल बी कैपिटल बी. इफ आई टॉक ऑफ हाइट के केस में अगर एक क्रोमोसोम पे एलील है टॉल की और एक पे ड्वार्फ की, सो दिस विल बी called as heterozygous condition. Okay, so this will be called as, इसको मैं erase कर देती हूँ यहाँ से. So this condition will be called as heterozygous. अगर यहाँ capital T it will be homozygous. Small t it will be homozygous. But if I say एक chromosome पे capital T है, एक पे small t है, so it will be again heterozygous condition. Capital B, small b, so it will be a heterozygous condition. So all these things will help us a lot. Excuse me. Okay, now these conditions will help us in filling the dihybrid